What's up, everyone? We are in the Founders Series with KMD. We are at the beautiful Armor House on top of Pogo. And thank you to Armor House for sponsoring this episode by letting us use this beautiful space. What do you think, Sebastian?
Space is gorgeous. I mean, we get a nice wind up here. We can see the whole city. Beautiful spot.
I honestly could just get a little drink and prop up and check out the scenery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Today we have Sebastian Sanchez with Cardinal Accounting / Bastion Management all in one. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Sebastian.
Well, just quick and dirty here. I have about 10 years experience in construction. Grew up around construction, got into it, built a couple of businesses, sold them, and I started realizing that the dream of owning a business is not as difficult if you've got a good plan.
Okay.
And so I started Bastion Management to try to help businesses on the consulting side, building systems and processes and achieving their goals. And Cardinal Accounting was kind of a happy little accident because all of my clients, when I would say, all right, let's look at your books so that we can project forward as to what we're wanting to do in Q2, Q3, Q4, they were like, we don't have books, you know? I kind of fly by the seat of my pants. Yeah, they're like, what? And so I got with my old business partner, Alex, he's a CPA, and I was like, hey, can you clean up their books so that I have an idea as to where they are? And he told me kind of like a wolf on Wall Street. He was like, this is a good business model. I could just do bookkeeping. He's like, if you get me enough clients, I'll quit my job today.
Okay.
And so I got him enough clients and Cardinal was born.
I love that. Okay, cool. One of my questions that I've been thinking when we're talking about entrepreneurship and, you know, like you said, people have these messed up books. They're flying by the seat. They're really just, I feel like they're going off of vibes, right?
Yeah.
Big
vibes.
What is like one of the things that entrepreneurs like really misunderstand about money that you notice a lot?
Misunderstand about money. I think a lot of business owners, at least in my experience, and I can only speak on my experience, is they believe that the money is in their account is the money that they're ready to spend. They don't think about payables. They don't think about the warehouse rent. They don't think about the truck payment. They don't think about their suppliers and distributors that they have to pay. And so they wake up every day, they look at their bank account and they see $15,000. They go, I have $15,000 to spend. They're not thinking about, oh, I've got a $700 truck payment coming out tomorrow. I've got, you know, $1,700 coming out to BMW or another distributor. So a lot of mistakes with money is that they just think because it's in their checking account, they're able to just spend
throw it down.
Yeah, exactly. And so I see it so many times where business owners will go into the negative just because they're like, ooh, I forgot that was hitting.
Yeah. Gosh, that is awful. What's your process like when you onboard new clients?
On the Cardinal side? On the Cardinal side for onboarding, funny enough, in the bookkeeping space is probably the most challenging part of the whole process. It comes down to making sure that we have view-only access to their bank accounts so that we can reconcile, setting up their QuickBooks online accounts if they don't have it, making sure that we have every single bank, credit card, savings account onto QuickBooks, and then really just setting up their chart of accounts. And I promise you, every client that we've had, and I love my clients. I love our clients. They're fantastic. Love working with them. But every time we onboard them, we'll get like 6 bank accounts, and then all of a sudden the next month rolls around, we publish the profit and loss statement, and they go, oh, I forgot about that bank account. And I'm like,
are you serious?
Are you kidding me?
Gosh.
So onboarding can last months before we're in a groove.
Now, I know we were talking more about Cardinal Accounting, but I know the parent company is Bastion Management. Could you talk about that more?
Yeah, so Bastion Management is a business consulting firm that specializes in helping service-based businesses operate in a more systemic level. So we help with processes, procedures, going from marketing, so not necessarily doing the marketing, but marketing approach. How can we get your brand more visible? What exactly is your brand? Sales, how do we connect with our customer or our ideal customer, right? How do we market our brand to our ideal customer, and then how do we close? How do we express value to that customer? And then operations. A lot of business owners think that you're hiring a person to do a job and you're expecting them to just know how to do it from day one. A lot of businesses need to understand, smaller businesses, that you don't hire the person, you hire the process, the ability to follow a process.
Yeah.
Because if you're a plumber, an HVAC guy, an electrician, you know, you can hire an electrician that knows what they're doing, but they don't know how to do it your way.
Yeah.
And they don't know that you want pictures at the end of the job, that you want a completion checklist, how to submit an invoice, how to follow up for a 5-star review. You know, all of these things business owners think are innate.
Yeah.
But in actuality, there's systems and processes.
It's a game changer.
That you have to build.
Having that process is so important.
Oh, it really is, because, you know, I always tell my clients the first test is the vacation test. Can you step away from your business for 2 weeks and it not burn to the ground?
Yeah.
Can it rely on its processes, the people and the processes? And if it can't, then you're not running a business, you're running a job.
Wow. Ooh.
I know.
Like
that's
that.
That's a little spicy.
That is. Let's switch gears for a little bit. So you are the president of Epic.
Yep.
The downtown branch. What is Epic?
Epic is a business-to-business focused referral group. So it's a little different than BNI, because BNI is more so a networking group for business to consumer. So like think roofers, you know, electricians, plumbers, and all that. Epic is more about referrals, direct referrals to business. So think attorneys, engineers, CPAs, right?
Yeah.
Architects that work with engineering firms, people like that. That's mostly what Epic focuses on, is like that business to business relationship rather than the business to consumer relationship.
I love that. How do you feel like, you know, this is all like referral networking, referral marketing. How do you feel like that's changed, you know, maybe how you see business? Like, you know, I feel like one of the big things about networking groups and even referrals is that when you do good things, the money follows.
100%. You know, I harp on that a lot in my group. I think just owning a few businesses myself, and you know, I've never really been a good salesman. It's more about showing up.
Yeah.
You know, half the customers that I converted in my old construction days would say, I went with you because you answered the phone. You showed up. And I think in the South, because I can only speak on the South because that's where I work, we're very connections based. We're very much relationships based.
Yes.
And so with these referral groups, the more somebody shows up, the more trustworthy they are. If I give you a referral and you keep coming and the person that I referred you to says you did a good job, then the sale becomes easier going forward.
You already have the relationship.
You already have the relationship.
And it makes it so much easier to work with them.
You don't have to sell. You're just doing a job for your friend.
I love that. Okay, cool. Well, if you're interested in Epic and what Sebastian is building downtown, make sure you hit him up. In terms of, you know, Bastion Management and Cardinal, what are the industries that you, like, your clients are in? Is it tech, or is it more like HVAC, plumbing, like service-based business?
Yeah, we really do focus on service-based businesses. Our CPAs and bookkeepers are very much equipped for just more service-based. And by service, I mean non-inventory based businesses, right? So not like full warehouse systems, or a lot of distributors, like think of like your ABC that has like an inventory list of all of their, you know, liquor and stuff like that. We don't really do inventory. So we really stick to more of the service, like attorneys. We have a few doctor's offices. We do the bookkeeping for a couple city municipalities in their entirety. We do HVAC, electrical, plumbing. I mean, anything that revolves around taking care of a client or customer.
Right.
You know, that's really what we focus on.
Being a business owner, like, what is your work-life balance like? Also, I know you just had a child.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, what is work-life balance like? You know, you're balancing a new child, you're balancing a job, you're balancing basically your business. How do you find peace in it all?
That's a very good question. That's something that a lot of my clients struggle with. A lot of business owners, they feel like they work 16-hour days, 17-hour days. I think a lot of business owners get caught in the trap of being reactive to the day rather than being proactive to the day. I think a lot of people don't realize how much time they spend maybe doom scrolling on Facebook or Instagram, or
That's me.
How
Doom scrolling on TikTok.
You never know, like an hour and a half goes by, 2 hours go by, and you barely even notice it.
Yeah.
On the drive to maybe a client, as a 45-minute drive, let's say, these are all precious minutes that we could be using to optimize our processes. And so for me, work-life balance means really taking advantage and hyper optimizing the time I have during the day so that in the evenings, I can fully dedicate my time to my family.
Yeah.
So when I'm commuting, I'm making dials to prospects and even existing clients. I'm having automated emails from the day before go out at certain times. I have each hour of the workday starting at 7 a.m. blocked off on my entire calendar so that I'm hyper optimized so that when 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock rolls around, depends on the day, 5:30 or 6, that's family time.
Right.
And that's the time that I turn everything off and I say, I don't care if you email me. I was telling Kelby earlier, I don't care if you email me at Friday at 7 and you're expecting an immediate response. I'm not getting back to you till Monday. Good. Because that's called, it's called boundaries and being proactive with your time.
Okay, I love that. Very important. I need to take a page out of your book.
You should see my calendar.
Look, my calendar is awful. Okay, so I'd love to hear some advice that you like to give some of our viewers who are interested in entrepreneurship, who are interested in being a business owner. Before I get to that, AI.
Oh.
Yeah, there always has to be an AI question.
Right, yeah.
Artificial intelligence is a very hot keyword.
Yes.
I think you'll see it slapped onto everything. Trust, being a part of Tech Birmingham, AI comes up in every conversation about possibly taking jobs, using it as a tool. People are afraid of it. I tried to take my mom to an AI seminar and she asked me if robots were going to be there. I was like, this is not Skynet, this is not Terminator.
Yeah.
And then she didn't want to go because there wasn't going to be any robots.
Right.
But how do you use AI as a business owner to leverage your business?
I think a lot of people have a misconception of AI as far as full replacement right now. I think we're a few years off away from any kind of full replacement. I think AI, just like anything else, is a new tool in the toolbox.
Thank you.
I think that, I use AI right now with our CRM software for automating certain emails, automating certain workflows, and it's made it to where I can lower the monthly fee for my clients and service even more clients.
Yeah.
So for me, ultimately, it's not about full replacement. It's about adding additional value and helping out my clients and clearing up my workflow.
Yeah.
The amount of emails that I would have had to send if I didn't have an AI integration, or the amount of questions that could be answered with a prompt that's already well established in my, MLM. It's kind of like, it just helps me become more efficient.
Yeah.
And I think that's ultimately what it is. So am I afraid of AI being in the professional service space? No.
Yeah.
Because, and maybe it's selfish, but ultimately I can always fall back on construction if there is a full, takeover, hostile takeover.
Hostile takeover.
I can always put up a garage door. I can always change out a fence. I can always do plumbing, electrical. Those are services that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, I think it's good that you have something to fall back on.
Right, and I think that's what everybody should have in the back of their mind. Being a business owner, being a person that's working in an industry that could be replaced by AI, it's what's the plan B?
Yeah.
Always have a plan B. Everybody should have one, regardless of your state.
No, for sure. I completely agree. Plan B is super important.
Yep.
Even the idea of these misconceptions regarding artificial intelligence. AI is going to come whether we want it to or not. I mean, it's already here.
It is here.
Data centers already being built. There is a data center in McCalla being built. And that also leads to the idea of skilled tradesmen. 2,000 people are at this job site like every day. Yeah. And you're going to need more tradesmen to build the infrastructure. That is, I think, so important, especially with generative AI.
Absolutely.
Such as Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini Copilot, that are able to, at some point, fully build SaaS software. So you're gonna have to have something to support that with infrastructure.
Absolutely.
So I guess closing thoughts, what is some advice you like to give to our audience in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of life in general?
Yeah. I'll close it out with one of my favorite ideas and thought experiments is kind of going back to the, owning a business versus owning a job.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have the misconception of, I slap my logo on a truck, I put up a sign, and I'm in business, and now I own a business. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people have the misconception that a business is something that, or a business is an entity that you own that provides services to people. Mm-hmm. Well, really, you could say that for a job.
Yeah.
You provide services to people. A real business is an asset that generates revenue that you can walk away from, rely on the systems, and it continue to generate revenue for you. And so my last thought here is, when you're thinking about opening a business or starting a business, think long term. Like Jeff Bezos says, write a business plan. That should be your step one, a full business plan from day one to 5 years. Mm-hmm. What does the scalability look like? What does the target market look like over the time? Do your homework. Yeah. Because it'll answer, just doing that exercise will answer so many questions about what your revenue should look like, how many people you should hire, what sort of softwares you should be integrated with, are you gonna have vacation days, and what your business will look like in 5 years. Yeah. So it's all about having a plan, understanding what a business is, and then also just being able to be proactive. Mm-hmm. Don't let life hit you. Hit life.
Ooh, okay.
I
love that. How do we find you?
How do we find me? LinkedIn, Sebastian Sanchez, Cardinal Accounting. We have Facebook, LinkedIn. That's pretty much all the socials we're on.
Okay, cool. That's okay. Well,
Google.
The time is now with Sebastian Sanchez. Founder Series is up. Super excited that we got to talk.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you for having me.
Check out more that we have going on. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.